Ready, set, go.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Time for another shortened, abbreviated, teeny tiny version of our Friday updates. How do I sound today, besides slightly nasally from New York?
MJ is up and audible.
Groovy. So, look, again, this is going to be a short one. Got to get back to work. There won't be a top 10 again. Didn't want to take any of the team off what they're doing, as we are putting every bit of time into getting us into Beta 1. Update on that. Still going through the logs. We've eliminated a lot of the crashes. Andrew's working on another fix that should help things as well. So yeah, all is going well. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about it on Monday. Not beta beginning on Monday. Talk about the date. Still no long-term change, no short-term change, no change whatsoever in what our original estimate was. We're getting really close. For those of you who've been in our tests, you've seen how the crash rate, which was worse on Saturday, is so much better today. Speaking of that, if you're a Beta 1 backer, if you're an Alpha backer, if you're an IT backer, please go into the game right now. We're trying to get enough people in to have the same issues we had a few days ago in terms of 300 plus people in a battle. So we want to track that down. We've got some ideas. And we kind of really need real people in and not just the orcs or the bots. So please, if you want to listen to this stream, great. You know, won't be a long one, but jump into the game. We really want to get these numbers up while we're still in the office. So yeah, nothing else exciting other than to say things have been going great with the not a beta test. We've had almost flawless performance at 200 or below, 200 and above, a little more spotty. Some people have been great, other people not so much. Over 300, it tended to get worse, which is exactly why we want people to jump in now while we're here, while almost everyone is here to look at it. So, having said that, I don't think I have anything else, hey, useful, intelligent, or even all that funny to say right now. So let's go to Q&A.
All right, give us your questions.
And again, this will be a short one.
Zunjin asks, first, I love every minute of testing. Keep up the good work. Second, the only thing bothering me is that testing has shown that the years since Deok have left its traces, and I am not as fast as I used to be. So are there any plans for a special senior citizen server with round-based combat?
So obviously, for the folks who've been in the test so far, you see this game is a little more action-y feel than what we've talked about. Don't worry, nothing has changed. This is what we're testing right now to put more stress on the system, to see how it plays. We are not intending to turn this game into a 100% action shooter. We've been very clear about that. So don't worry. There are a lot of us who are no longer quite as young as we were. So no change.
Apostrophe asks, at this point, should we be reporting issues like disappearing mouse, invisible players, mouse lockup, and things of that nature?
No, we are aware of those. So if you've seen a bug report on any of the other forums that's the same as yours, you don't really need to report it. We've seen it before. Anything new and novel, sure, we definitely want to hear that.
Oldvik passes along a question from Pex. Pex asks, regarding guild shops, how easy will they be uprooted and move between keeps? Or will they be stationed more near the capitals and just kind of stay there like a broker or bazaar area?
Well, that's up to you guys. I mean, when a guild decides to build out, its holdings, if they want guild shops there, that's fine. Of course, if they're not in the safe area, which they can't if they're not in the starting city, they can be attacked.
Adric Cortesia asks, what are the major hurdles for Beta 1 currently?
Three main ones. So obviously the out of memory error that we've been working on, that has gotten a lot better. That's also the one that Andrew has a fix, another fix going in for. The other one, second one, the web API server, which has been misbehaving badly the last few days. We thought we had a fix that made it better today, and it worked better for a while, but then it still had issues, so we got to get that fixed. And we definitely want to look at the performance issues that we had at the higher numbers. Those are the big ones. Bunch of little ones, nothing that we look at is go, oh my God, this is going to be a big deal. But we do need to get those things fixed. And there's a bunch of small things with a scenario manager, things not necessarily giving you folks enough information when something times out or blows up. But all those are small in comparison to the ones we're working on. But again, things have gotten better. I mean, a lot better. And as I said in Discord and our chat, and I actually posted on the forums as well, Andrew found out through metrics he put in that 6.5% of our crashes were due to people coming in on about 10-year-old CPUs. Apparently there's an instruction that wasn't available to the Intel chipset back then, and that was causing the issue. So Andrew put in a patch for that. From what we can tell, as of this morning, there had been no crashes due to that issue as of this morning.
Zidstar asks, is there any planned region locking for launch?
North America and Europe will not be region locked. In terms of Asia, might have region lock. That depends on if we partner with anyone in Asia. But North America and Europe, we said this during the Kickstarter, hasn't changed, won't change. No region locking for North America and Europe.
Sacrix asks, what's happening with hires? It's been a while now since 7.5 million. Does this mean end of 2019 is not happening for live launch with lack of hires?
Wow, that's a major leap, Sacrix. That's worthy of Donnie. No, one thing is, right now, that's way too early to say anything like that. And we are actively still talking to a few people, as a matter of fact, that we're hoping work out in the coming weeks.
Odilvik says, Medic asks, what type of Star Wars droid is B1D1?
Right now, C-3PO. A little bit fussy, a bit high maintenance right now, but we're working on it.
Lucky Laddie asks, is crafting a thing right now, or is it hard to get started?
Oh yeah, it's a thing. You can't use it right now because we've deactivated it until we get other things done. But yeah, it's all in. I think it's all in. Should be all in. And ready to go.
Segovirial asks, I don't really have much time to join the testing, but would it be of any use if I just logged in AFK?
Oh, sure. Yeah, just getting any connectivity, any player who connects to the game and jumps in the scenario could be useful, even if you do nothing. Even if you then get killed, definitely want you in there. We're looking for real, oh, I want to be a real boy. We want real connections in the game, not bots or orcs.
Odilvik says, Zertan asks, if you can explain the current thoughts behind plot size in regards to what and where players can build and any restrictions therein.
Well, that's a long answer for the game. Right now, for the live game. For now, it's just big enough that you can do something interesting and small enough that it doesn't stress out the servers too much. The whole point, of course, with the opening of beta and plots and building is to see just how far we can push things. So we're trying not to, necessarily crash it on day one. So we started with what's a reasonable number, and we'll see how that goes. And reasonable size as well.
Odilvik says, Tinnis asks, any plans for Stonehealer / Blessed Crow to get their own UI element or key to help targets select their deployables and display their health?
If I understand the question, yes.
Chaos Fury asks, can I put CSE down as an emergency contact if my family never sees me again from playing?
Don't do that, please. Not the emergency contact. Feel free if you want. Don't play that much. Though we hope you want to, but you don't need to.
Odilvik passes along another question from Zertan. How dark do you intend for the game to get? There's been a major shift in thought between, say, EQ1 darkness and that of modern MMOs where things are merely shadowed.
Oh, no, we've said we want to be dark. Right now you can see part of it is accidental, where the shadows aren't working quite the way they should be. We want to be dark enough that you need to have a torch, or you need to use an ability, or you need to have a bane, or a boon, or ratio ability that allows you to see better at night. Darkness, darkness matters. You really want in this game to have, the terrain, the weather, time of day factor into things, and it will.
Dusty the Hamster asks, as someone who played on Pendragon during Daok, will there be a constantly up test server for CU post-launch?
Constantly, as long as you don't mean absolutely 24/7, yes, of course there will be. That's one of the benefits of the IT tier. They're going to be jumping in and have the build way, ahead of other people.
Arcondus1 asks, so I have noticed there is body blocking between allies and enemies alike. Do you plan to keep it that way, or will you only apply body blocking to just enemies?
Right now, the plan is unchanged from the Kickstarter, was we want collision detection for both friendlies and enemies. It's kind of important. It makes the game a lot more tactical. You really have to be, if you're organized, if you have a group, whether it's a small group, it's a large group, the ability to use collision detection to your advantage is kind of helpful. It's going to be, I think if it works the way we think it's going to work, it's going to be a big feature for this game. And because it's all determined by the server, not one that is prone to hacking or cheating.
Koshelkin asks, is a tutorial zone planned? I fear this game might be overwhelming for new players.
Oh, absolutely. We've said that as well from the beginning. The game is overwhelming for new players. We've seen it already. Even from people who've played, Dark Age or Warhammer or other games. It's meant to be a game where you will have a lot of options, a lot of choice. That's what we sold it as when we started the Kickstarter. And as you can see how well it's coming into place, you also recognize correctly that could be seen as a detriment, to getting new backers in. So absolutely, whether it's a tutorial zone, whether it's the battlegrounds we talked about, we want to make it, easier for new people to get in and understand the game. So while we're talking about new people, let me just take a little bit of a digression here and say thank you to all the new backers who've been coming in over the last month. It's been a wave. It's been a really nice wave of people coming in. So I thank you, on behalf of course, everyone at CSE, we thank you. To our long-standing backers, I say please be nice to all the newcomers. Remember, they don't have your years of experience or information waiting. Try to be helpful and friendly. Remember, of course, that these are folks that we need to help build the community. We have a really good community overall, an awesome community overall. And so, in the spirit of that, please remember that these folks are new, and of course, in the game, feel free to kill them if they're not on your side. But when they have questions, when they ask, start topics on the forum, remember that, these are new folks and they don't have your breadth of experience. So, be good to them, please. Okay.
Lou Deasy asks, are classes in a certain order for release? What would be the next group of classes to be released?
We'll talk about it after this, after we get into beta. Certainly mages are on the short list to go in. One of my favorite classes to play, an important class because that allows us to get the air system back up and running. So you can expect to see them making an appearance definitely sooner rather than later in terms of classes.
Darlgon asks, do progression reports currently do anything besides make an oh cool feeling?
Well, I think that's doing something, don't you? And yes, that's all they do right now. The point was to get, first of all, to get the metrics in, so we know what's going on. Second, to give you guys a feel of what you're going to be seeing every day when you play our game. And third, of course, to begin to absolutely begin to add progression into the game. Progression, spending a lot of time on progression now, kind of pointless. We've only added our first 3 trios. We don't even know how well they're going to work. We think they're going to be fine, but we don't know that yet. So we want to get a feel for them, feel for the components, the abilities, and then we can add progression to it. That's relatively easy now.
Thornsy asks, how many alts will we be able to have on one account?
I think I said during the Kickstarter, I have to check, but pretty sure it was the number of classes plus 1. But I need to double check that. But I think it was plus 1.
Smackish asks, will we have full stats of everything we do?
No, not everything, because there's a lot of very mundane things that we don't track. If they're, certainly if they're not important. Anything important, yeah, absolutely.
Mark D asks, when beta launches, will we get real length in-game footage?
No and yes. So the no is not on day one. Obviously, like any game, when it goes live, when it goes beta, when it goes alpha, stuff that you haven't found during testing, all of a sudden you find, just as we're finding things now that we hadn't seen ever before. So assume that we're going to have the exact same result, and that we're going to go into beta. Some new things will crop up. Once we take care of those or anything else that we wanted, to have fixed or simply smoother for beta 1, then we'll start to allow a limited group of people to stream during a limited amount of time, meaning that there'll be different kinds of tests, and certain tests will not be streamable, like what if we do a stress test. Unless we particularly want to, to show that, we wouldn't show it. There'll be, when you get into beta, we get into beta, it'll be very similar in some ways to what alpha is like, in that we will have a lot of builds, which probably means a lot of broken builds, where we try new things as well, that then turn out to be broken as well. We call them unstable build tests. We don't want people streaming the unstable build test. So there'll be a nice warning on the display saying this is streamable, this is not, but it will not certainly be B1 D1 unless we decide, to stream ourselves. Most likely, though things can change. One question, and then since we have a box, I want to open the box.
Oh, you only want to do one last question?
Yeah, I remember I said it was going to be a short one.
Yeah, I was waiting to give the 5-minute warning.
Yeah, so was I, and then I remembered there was a box sitting there.
All right, okay, let's see. I'm looking for something nice to end with. Let's see. Well, Funkinelli would like to know, for those of us who have way more time than we know what to do with, is there a way to upgrade from alpha to IT?
I assume you're a builder, not a founder. Wait. I know I've said this before, but just wait. Things are going to be changing when we get into beta. And then you'll have I think will be a good answer to your question. That's good. Let's end it on that.
Okay.
I want to open the box, and then I want to get back because we are, as I've said, please join the game. Need you in there. We really want to get a repro of some of the issues, mainly one that we saw over the last week. So let's open the box.
All right, good. Now, this is good because I think there's a letter in there too.
Oh, damn, it's heavy. Jesus. Okay.
Racknock, you're asking when is the next test? I think there's one going on right now.
Oh, yeah, right now. We'll be testing for at least 2.5 more hours. We may not be able to test this weekend with the API server being an issue. We may not do it until it's fixed, but we'll let you know. Yes, there is a letter.
So I was told that you can read it on stream if you like.
This is really nice. Yeah, okay, I'll read it. Dear City State Entertainment, this has been quite the journey. You've almost reached the Big B1 and undoubtedly deserve the largest tankers of beverages most frosty. However, don't you when you hear that however, it's like a but right there, right? The conveyance of enlivening spirits over long distances can be fraught with peril. Therefore, we have taken that beer and handcrafted three realm inspired soaps for you. Soap? What's soap? Soap? Max, right over. See, I didn't want to start with the tropish. Oh, is this person saying that devs need to bathe? I mean, because that's just...
Yeah, I mean, I was so expecting you to go that direction.
Well, because that's tropish. I mean, you know, a good trope every so often is fun, but that was too easy. Starting with the lightest color, and because they won't wait their turn, Viking, well said, beer soap is made from Icelandic ale wrung from the beards of warriors following glorious battles and toast-worthy celebrations. Okay, Rocky Horror Picture fans, you know what you do then. Throw up the toast. Not to be mistaken for gold, but prized as highly, Arthurian beer soap is made from rich and creamy Corinthian leather. No, sorry, English ale. No matter if thou a prince or if thou a pauper, all subjects will have the skin of a queen. Ooh, that must hurt.
It's just going to be one long fun fest.
Well, this is great. I mean, this is perfect for that, and the gift is lovely. The deep earthen tones are as complex as the dark Irish stout used in the Tuatha De Danann soap. From limb to root, from bark to silver, This soap can even wash the scream from a banshee. Well done. To all the managers, developers, artists, lore keepers, and engineers, we hope this gift allows years of blood, sweat, and tears to fall away in the wash, leaving you renewed for even greater battles ahead. Thank you, Denarian and Desparia. P.S. It's true! Using beer instead of water during the soap making process yields +1 to lather.
Nice.
Fantastic. This was great. Okay? Oh my, there's a lot of soap. I mean, like, a lot of soap.
Enough for 3 realms.
Yeah, I mean, Viking beer soap. Arthurian beer soap. And there it is. The ingredients of Arthurian beer soap are coconut oil, beer, old speckled hen apparently, and a lie. And after all, I never lie. So, Denarian, Desparia, fantastic. This was great. There's enough soap here for all of us. Again, this was really fantastic. I love it. You don't get, beer soap as a gift other than now very often. Like never, I don't think.
I can't think of any other time.
And so this is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so very much for this. And this is the thing. When you see communities in gaming or in anything, they can sometimes have a reputation, well deserved, for being toxic. We don't have a toxic community. We just don't. We have some of the best backers in the world. Again, not because we have $180 million in donations. Can't imagine what I'm referring to. But because you people are good people. You've been great to us. The vast majority of you have been so patient with us. You're nice, to us most of the time, almost all the time. And in the game, you're here really to do one thing, and that is to have fun. And, well, you're here to win, too. But it's all about the fun. It's all about helping us make a great game. It's all about having a community that we can be proud of. And, I've been proud of our community from day one. You guys were great. And even before day one, before the Kickstarter launch, as the community was building, you were all just, lovely people. So continue being, who you are. Continue having faith in us. As you've seen, if you're a Beta 1 backer and above, you've seen that we have done what nobody else has done to date in gaming, which is have a more than 200 player battle at a high frame rate without, in general, rubber banding. We can't do anything if your connection is horrific, but when all the games were going on, the scenarios were going on, and the numbers were at what we consider a low number, 200. Performance was fantastic. It's comment after comment in the game about how smooth everything is, how high the frame rate is. And so, while we can't in any way say that we're ready to go live, or even Beta 1 right now, we've proven what we've always said we could prove to you folks. That, we could deliver as a team technology, and now design and art will catch up to make a great game. Because without the tech, the game wouldn't be there. There would be no game. It doesn't matter how good the art, it doesn't matter how good the design, it doesn't matter how good the sound, it doesn't matter how good the writing. If the tech sucks, the game can't launch. Well, join us if you can now for a few hours and see what it's like at 200 or more. that's hopefully when we reproduce the problem. So it kind of seems weird saying that, but the truth is, at anything less than 200, it has been spectacular. So I hope you join us today. If not, we may have a test this weekend. I am not sure yet. Again, problems with the API server may hold it up. Stay tuned next week. We will definitely have an announcement next week. We've got enough information now and enough fixes going in now, and everything is looking good. But if not, if you can't join us, then hopefully next week you will join us. And with that, and as always, I want to thank you so very much for all your support and your soap. And as always, again, your patience. Thank you so much for being our backers. Thank you so much, again, for your patience. And hopefully you'll be killing me in the game in a few minutes. Don't feel special. Everybody does. I do die a lot. And that said, again, have a great weekend. And I'll see you one way or the other really soon.
All right, see you later.